Let me just begin by asking that everybody stand and have a moment of silence for the sacrifice of the people in Charleston, South Carolina, because they are changing our course of history. Thank you. In a way, I don't know where to begin. I think I'll start with Carl Nelson and the Carl Nelson Show. He has the most magnificent radio program maybe in history. He has just provided an outstanding forum for us as black people to exchange. And he knows I call in, wake up early in the morning and call in, but other people call in, and we are all helping each other, and he is helping us by having his wonderful personality. To me, he has a wonderful personality and a way of receiving people who call in, no matter what we have to say. And all the guests that he brings to our attention. So thank you very much, Carl, and the other people who are responsible for the Power Talks. And let me be honest with you, Carl called me and asked me if I would participate in Power Talk number 2, and I said yes. And I had no idea that there was going to be a tribute. I actually learned about the tribute listening to the program. So you have no idea how deeply honored I am. My sister Lauren Love, who was there, my 1 year older sister, you saw the two of us standing in those little dresses, said, it's too bad Mother and Daddy can't be here. Lauren was one of the founders of WPFW, but she's been back in Chicago. And I will also say, when I started writing, I was writing for 8 people, 8 fellow psychiatrists who back in the late 1960s were talking about racism. I never, ever thought that more than 8 people would ever be interested in what it is that I was thinking. I mean, it just goes to show. And so I'm always shocked in all of the things that have been said about me. I truly am shocked. I'm just doing, my mother said to me one time, Frances, where are you going? And I said, I'm going to speak in some particular place. And she said, well, what are you going to talk about? My mother was a Chicago public school teacher. And I said, well, Mother, you know, I only talk about one thing. She said, can't you talk about anything else? And I said, well, this was my cosmic assignment. I assume it was my cosmic assignment. And there are forces in this universe that we don't understand yet. But those forces have come to play. Just think about the events in Charleston and those people whose lives were taken. And their lives were taken by a racist, white supremacist mindset. But when they captured him, and he said that his goal was to kill black people. Do you see? And that black men wanted to rape white women, and that black people were trying to take over the world, and so therefore he had to kill us. And so I said, what a profound statement out of the mouth of the beast, so that I never, ever have to convince anyone that the most important thing we need to talk about is racism, white supremacy. And when I just look back, and I started writing about racism when I was teaching at Howard University, but even before that, as was mentioned, when I was doing a residency in general psychiatry at St. Elizabeth's Hospital, right up the road, Martin Luther King used to be Nichols Avenue. And I started wondering what was making black people mentally ill. I'd never started out to be a psychiatrist when I was in medical school, never thought I would be a psychiatrist because they were teaching Freudian theory. But then I got interested after talking to black patients and seeing this racism all woven in everybody's history, just like it's woven in the histories of each and every one of us.